Welcome back to the workbench. Today I'm taking a look at this. The AEC Matador and 5.5 inch gun plastic model kit in 1/76 scale from Airfix. Join me in this video as I take a look inside the box and find out what's included. Hi, I'm Matt and you're watching Model Minutes. Before I start the video, a quick shout out to my patrons. A massive thank you to you for the support that you give me. So today, the AEC Matador and 5.5 inch gun in 1/76 scale as part of the Vintage Classic range from Airfix. On the front of the box is the rather dramatic vintage illustration in quite bright and contrasting colours, which catches the eye. On the rear of the box are the painting and decal placement instructions. And as you can see, it only actually suggests two paint colours, which is 33 matte black and 159 khaki drab. I like that these come in colour because it helps clarify any confusion you might have when you come to actually paint and assemble this kit. On this side of the box we've got some information about the actual Matador and 5.5 inch gun, and it also indicates that the moulding was made in 1966 and the illustration comes from 1978. Here it indicates that it's a skill level 2 and 1 flying hour is included. If you are a member of the Airfix Club, you can redeem that against more kits. This side of the box features multilingual safety information as well as indications that this is not suitable for those aged 8 years and under. Let's take a look inside the box. As usual, I'm going to start by taking a look at the instructions. This seems to be to the familiar format from the Vintage Classic range, which has a slightly different font to their normal kits. Multilingual information about the actual Matador and 5.5 inch gun is on the first page. And if we open it up, safety information and then a key to the different symbols you might encounter during the construction. The exploded diagrams are, as far as I'm aware, the original instructions, but they've been updated with different paint numbers and also the layout style. We start off by assembling the cab, and you can see that there is a driver figure which is cemented into there and he's missing his legs, so if you wanted to use him for anything else you'd be hard pressed to. The box of the vehicle is then made up, and then so too is the chassis, and I'm quite impressed by how much detail and the number of parts that are required for this chassis. I wasn't quite expecting that in such an old tooling. Turn over the page, the chassis and wheels are being added to the model, and then the last 3 steps are for the actual gun. So it's not generally a complicated build by the looks of it. The field gun does have the choice of being either deployed or stowed for towing. The decals are to the usual standard from Airfix. They seem to be well printed, and even small little numbers are present on some of them. All that remains to be seen is how well they go onto the model. Let's take a look inside the bag. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4 sprues. They're all moulded in this sort of khaki green colour, which I guess helps with the sort of fun factor that probably children would have had in the 60s. If you didn't want to paint it, you didn't have to, but you still had something that was sort of the right colour. So bearing in mind this design comes from the 60s and the mould quality is not up to today's standards, I'm actually quite impressed by the detail that is there. Recessed details and raised details are present throughout, and the amount of flash on here seems to be not particularly high. Yes, there is a little bit here and there that needs taking off, but generally it's not too bad. In this sprue we've got different parts of the field gun and the bed of the vehicle. Let's take a look at the driver figure. I find people to be quite difficult to reproduce in scale, and do you know what? He's not actually that bad. Annoyingly, there is an ejector pin mark straight on his chest, which is a bit frustrating, but the moulding doesn't seem to be too bad. A little bit of knife work around the edges to remove the excess there, but it's not too terrible. I've seen more recent kits with worse figures. As was standard from Airfix in the older, with some of its older toolings, the numbers are actually moulded onto some of the parts. And taking a look at the last sprue, you've got the sides for the bed of the truck and the chassis and some wheels. And yeah, overall the moulding is quite good. A little bit of flash here and there to clean up, but better than I was expecting to see. One thing that is worth noting, however, is that my hands do feel a little bit greasy now, so I think they've used quite a lot of mould release in order to ensure that they can keep manufacturing these parts from such an old tooling. So when you come to make this kit, just make sure you give it a good wash before you start building or painting it. So just a conclusion, 4 nicely moulded sprues given their age, a set of instructions, reasonable decals, and a box featuring some very cool illustrations. So generally this looks like it's going to be quite a fun kit to build. As you can see, I bought it for £5.99 in the UK, which is the right price for it. This retails for £6, so a penny cheaper. If you could get this cheaper, then brilliant, but generally I think that's about the right price to pay for it. And I'm quite looking forward to getting started. So if you'd like to see me build this kit on my channel, make sure you leave a comment letting me know. And also don't forget that I'm interested in hearing any suggestions you might have for other videos that you might like to see. So feel free to post that too. So all that's left to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the workbench again next time.